I'd like to call to order the City of Natchitoches Planning and Zoning Commission. Tonight is a special meeting because there was an error with the advertisement by the Natchitoches Times for our regular meeting, and I'm glad that we've at least gotten some folks to accommodate us to take care of a couple of issues here. I will tell everybody the procedure we'll follow is that the applicant will come forward to the AMBO or the podium and state what they're going to do. Then we'll hear from people in support of the applicant's application, and then we will hear from people in opposition, and then after that, we will hear from the applicant or his a single designee addressing any of the complaints or cons to the application. I'd like everybody to know that full audio of the planning and zoning meetings are available at www.cityofnatchitochesla.gov. The City Council, the next meeting is February the 28th. Applications for rezoning will be introduced at that time. Any applications for rezoning will be final voting on the March 14th. We don't actually have any rezonings, do we? And it's all subdivisions.
Everything is subdivision.
Subdivisions, variances, or reverse subdivisions, if I read that right. So, with regard to these applications that are pending before us tonight, they become final in 11 days if no one takes an appeal. The appeal must be taken in writing with the city clerk, at the mayor's office. And so, if you want to oppose any actions taken on the four items that we have under new business, you have to appeal, and then and only then will it be heard by the city council. I'd ask if there's anybody that's on Zoom to have to mute their mics, but that all speakers identify themselves in their relation to the property when they come up to the AMBO. Our next meeting will be March the 1st, 2002, right here at 5 o'clock. If you didn't sign in, please do so before you leave. Did I miss anything? Ms. Rock?
No, sir, you haven't.
All right. Ms. Oak, please call roll.
Jamie Flanagan. Ethel Blake.
Here.
Ron Brown. Charles Whitehead III.
Here.
Annette Du Bois.
Here.
Bobby Claiborne. Michael Lewis.
Here.
Ricky McAllister.
Here.
Isaac Lewis.
Here.
All right, by my count, that's a quorum, ladies.
Yes, sir.
All right. You've been provided copies of the proposed minutes from our regular meeting on January the 4th and February the 1st. If there are no additions, corrections, or deletions, I will entertain a waiver of their formal reading and have them adopted as proposed.
I so move.
Motion by Mr. Lewis.
Second.
Second by Ms. Du Bois. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Just catch me and I'll sign. I'll probably come by in the morning and sign those mixed oaks unless you need them tonight. Roman numeral 4, old business, subsection A, the City Council approved the application of Lascotti Development to rezone the following lots 2, 3, 4, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, a Block E of Keegan Addition, less 2,271 square feet to the Highway Department, and Lot 5, a Block E of the Keegan Addition, less 797.6 square feet to the Highway Department, from B1 commercial to B3 commercial for the reason of the development retail development on the corner of East 5th and Kaiser Avenue. That's all the old business, Ms. Rock?
Yes, sir.
All right, Roman numeral 5. Let's do, from a logical standpoint, let's do B first. The application by Lascotti Development to subdivide the following lots 2, 3, 4, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, a Block E, less 2,271 square feet to the Highway Department, and Lot 5, a Block E of the subdivision of the Block E of the Keegan Addition, less 797.6 square feet to the Highway Department. The variance requested is the Chick-fil-A restaurant and drive-through on the corner of East 5th and Kaiser Avenue, Councilperson District Number 3, and Exhibit Number 2. Technically, this is a reverse subdivision. East Keegan was subdivided in the 50s, I think, and they have individual lot numbers. And so what they're doing is actually removing the lot numbers and making it one giant tract. Is that right, Ms.
Yes,
Rock?
that's it.
Have you gotten any feedback from the neighborhood on this application?
No, sir, not at all.
All right. Do we have somebody present for Lascotti Development?
We have several people available
Okay.
on Zoom.
All right. Well, let's hear from the applicant or his primary designee right now.
Either Miss Bridget or Chad.
I think we had Chad last time. I don't mean to cut Bridget out, but let's go with that.
They need to unmute the mics.
There you go, Chad. Can you hear us?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we have, multiple items on the agenda tonight. Bridget will actually be speaking about the item number A, which will be the regarding the parking spaces. So, the survey that was provided, through our surveyor, and I was thinking that somebody from the survey team might be there in person or on the call, but I don't see them. So I think the survey, Chantrell, should pretty much speak for itself. I don't know if you have any specific questions or anything that you need us to answer, but we're happy to do so.
All right. Does that bring, is there anyone else that wants to speak on behalf of the application of, and I guess we also need to note that on Exhibit A, there's one, Exhibit 1 rather, or that there's actually another lot that's not put in on the
On the
the
map.
yellow highlight. There's a Ingram Properties lot that's immediately to the west of this major tract, and I think if you look at the conceptual exhibit, it shows the side, the resultant single lot that will be made out of those 6 or 8 lots, whatever it is.
That's lot 5.
Okay, yeah. So is there any questions for Chad from members of the commission? All right, is there anyone else in the audience or on Zoom that wants to speak regarding Roman numeral 5, new business, subsection B, the combination of these 8 or 10 lots? All right. Hearing none, is there any opposition present in the audience to this application of Roman numeral 5, subsection B? What about anyone on Zoom that is opposed to Roman numeral 5, new business, subsection B? All right. Discussion by commission members.
Motion to approve.
I second.
Motion by Mr. McAllister, second by Ms. DuBois. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. All right. And we have another plat with this on it. Or does the other plat we signed, Chantrell, not have the lots in there?
We do not have the Mylar plat yet, but it's
Okay.
coming.
All right. All right, well, y'all know how to find me. Roman numeral 5, new business, subsection A, the application by Lascotti Development to request a variance of the following lots 2, 3, 4, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, Block E of Keegan Addition, less 2,271 square feet to the Highway Department. Lot 5 of Block E of the Keegan Addition, less 797.6 square feet to the Highway Department. The variance requested is a variance of the 10 by 20 parking spots to either have 53 9 by 10s, that can't be right, that's got to be 9 by
19.
18s.
Yeah.
Or 5 by 10 by 18s, and it just has to do with the size of the lot and the, originally, I think they were going to get this little small tract from the city. If you'll see right there on the corner, I guess it would be on the southwest corner of the subject property that the DOTD got through expropriation. That's councilperson number 3, district number 3, and exhibit number 1, which is identical to the exhibit number 1 from last time. I guess it was it Bridget was going to talk on that? Who was going to speak? Okay, well, let's go ahead. All right. Tell us what y'all want to do, Bridget.
You all have okay, I'm the civil for the project, for Lascotti Development. This is intended to be a Chick-fil-A on the corner. Chick-fil-A generally wants a certain number of parking spaces to keep circulation moving to keep the restaurant running at optimum efficiency. There's a certain size drive-through that they require now, and a certain number of parking spaces. When we first laid this site out, we got 55 parking spaces with the full 10-foot by 20-foot parking size stalls. If we reduced most of the stalls to 9 feet by 20 feet, which is by far the majority of sites across the southeast for Chick-fil-A, that is the size parking stall that we use. And then just reduce the length of 5 spaces next to a landscape island on the north end. You'll see the 5 right at the top. I can share my screen if you need me to.
I guess my question, what's the square footage of your restaurant?
It's less than 5,000 square feet.
4947.
Okay, I see it now. So that is, how many parking spots is that, Miss Rock? Is that 25?
Yes.
So they're required to have 25 feet, and 25 parking spots, and they want to put 53 in here at 9 by 20. Almost double what they're
Yes,
required
so
to.
Yes, Chick-fil-A employs a lot of staff members, so any given shift can be 15 of those spaces dedicated to staff.
All right. All right, questions for Bridget from members of the commission? Is there anyone present that wants to speak on behalf of the application of Lascotti Development? Is there anybody on Zoom that wants to speak additionally on the behalf of Lascotti Development? Hearing none, is anyone in the audience opposed to the application of Lascotti under Roman numeral 5 subsection A? All right, is there anyone on Zoom that's opposed to that, to this application? I guess discussion by commission members, what does the director have a preference on what she would like to see on this, whether it's 53 9 by 20s or
I do not. I was going to leave it up to them to decide what they needed to do.
What does the commission have any?
They're over there, I mean, yeah, so.
All right, well, Bridget, you tell us, what do you want? 53 9 by 20s, or I guess it's what, 48 10 by 20s and 5 10 by 18s? Is that what I'm reading?
Or did she want both?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, we would like, so the total number comes up to 61 spaces
All right,
within the 88
that's just-
spaces.
they-
So the first time,
They used the wrong conjunction, Bridget. Our cheat sheet says or, not and. So,
I'm sorry.
that's okay. So it's going to be 58 or 61?
61, there are 3 ADA spaces.
Okay. All right. So it looks to me like they're doggone putting
Motion to approve.
motion approved by Mr. McAllister, second by DuBois. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, like sign. Folks, at Lascotti, that'll be final 11 days from now. All righty?
Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Roman numeral 5, new business, subsection A, the application by Ms. Jewel Presson to subdivide the following, a re-subdivision of lots 28, 29, 35, and 36 of the Natchitoches and Red River Valley Railway Company subdivision located in the Sibley Pearson edition of the city of Natchitoches, as shown on a survey by Mr. Robert Lynn Davis dated December 10, 2021. The reason is for potential development bearing municipal address 124 and 126 Behan Street, Exhibit Number 3 in Commissioners' packets, Councilperson District Number 3. Is anyone here on behalf of the application of Presson? All right, Ms. Presson, if you'll come forward and tell us, we'll get a summary by the director, and then you can add or correct or anything that you want to do. Would you give us a quick summary, Ms. Rock?
Well, Ms. Preston is wanting to subdivide or align her properties for future residential development. And that's
Okay.
as simple as you can place it on that one.
Okay, these are lots that I've owned for several years. When I got them, one of them was just more or less a swamp. The other one was full of shrubs and bushes and everything, and through the years, I've developed them. And now we have put a drainage system in it so that the lots will drain. We filled it in so that it is one big lot instead of two smaller lots, and especially one very small lot. And we want to make it one lot, and we have made a privacy fence all around three sides so that we can have future residential development or some other way that we can develop it according to our other property, which we may need in the future. And my son, Chris, has helped me to do this through the last few years. And if you have any further questions, I'll ask you to direct those to him.
All right. Chris, the first question I got, this is really going to be 3 lots, correct?
Actually, it's 2 lots that are being combined into one, and then parts of 2 other lots that are being cut off and combined into that same lot.
Well, in truth and in fact, if we approve this, there will be a lot 28A, which doesn't exist now, a lot 29A, which doesn't exist now, and a lot 35A, which doesn't exist now. Is that correct, sir?
It's 3 lots.
I'll look at our plat, but I'm not sure if I understand that.
The application is for 4 lots, 28, 29, and 35, to be re-subdivided and having 3 resultant lots of 29A, 28A, and 35A. Is that correct?
I do see the numbers that you're indicating, but our understanding is that that would be combined into one large lot.
Well, it looks like they're shaving stuff off at lot 28 and shaving stuff off at lot 29 and putting that on lots 35 and 36 and making it, 35A is going to be a portion of 4 lots, if I read this survey right. I'm not trying to argue with you, sir.
Yes, sir.
But
Yes,
Ms.
sir.
Preston stated it incorrectly. This is being recorded. You know, if somebody is aggrieved by it, I just can't let what is obviously a 3-lot subdivision be passed off as just a 1-lot subdivision. But,
Yes, sir. Our understanding is that we're basically working with a total of 4 lots here that we're taking parts of and recombining into 1 lot.
that's correct, into 3 lots. Because you've got a
Okay, yes,
28A
there-
and a 29A that do not exist.
Correct.
If
The
we do
two-
not approve this, 29A, 28A will no longer, will not exist. Well, they will never come into play. They would simply be lots 28 and 29 that have other portions on them.
Yes, sir. Those are 2 separate lots. Yes, sir.
All right, and I've got, the closest one I've got, Ms. Rock, is 29A. Looks like it's about 150 square feet over the minimum size and already has residents on it. Is that correct?
I think there's a structure there. I don't know if anyone's actually living there.
Well, it just,
29A and 28A, yes, sir. Those both have structures on them.
I mean, the survey says wood frame residence on concrete piers, so.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, are there any questions for Mr. Presson by commission members? Is there anyone that wants to speak on behalf of the application of Presson? I would. Yes, sir, please come forward. Please identify yourself and speak into the mic.
My name is Scott Lumry. I am in support of this particular reconfiguration of that area. I've watched the Pressons do a lot of work in updating along Behan and making that place more presentable to our city, and especially to the students that live along there. So I feel that this particular move would help us to visually look better in that area, as well as give some future opportunities for more student housing as we move forward.
Thank you, Mr. Lumry. Any questions for Mr. Lumry from commission members? Anyone else want to speak on behalf of the application of Presson? Hearing none, is there any opposition to the application of Presson? Hearing none, discussion by commission members.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Lewis, second by Ms. DuBois. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Mr. Presson, in 11 days, you can come to Ms. Rock's office and pick up the final signed plat. assuming we have the Mylar?
Yes.
All right, in 11 days, you can come and pick that up. Your obligation is to bring it to Mr. Stamey at the clerk of court's office, record it, and bring her a certified copy of it. Now, that's assuming that nobody takes an appeal, which we have no control over, so you'll just check with Ms. Rock. Typically, we seldom see appeals when nobody shows up to oppose. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you.
All right, Roman numeral 5, new business, subsection D, the application by Roanoke Development to subdivide the following: 23.95 acres, being tract E of section 16, township 9 north, range 7 west, Natchitoches, Louisiana, is shown on plat and conveyance book 491, folio 91 of the records of Natchitoches Parish, less that portion of tract G that lies in tract E, and less 1.4 acres being a portion of the re-subdivision of tract F to More Oil Incorporated. The reason is to develop the residential subdivision. They haven't determined what it'll be addressed as, but it's Highway 3175 and also fronts on Washington Street. Summary by the director.
Well, this is another development for Glendale subdivision, and they are proposing a development, of 36 lots for residential development.
All right. Have we gotten any comment or anybody weighed in by email or letter
No,
or
I have
message?
not.
All right. Mr. Strange, you want to come forward, please, sir?
Sure, thank you. Mr. Whitehead, Chairman members, Ms. Rock, I have a little presentation. I know that it's kind of a repeat of a lot of what you've already seen, but if you'd like me to go ahead and just quickly go through it so that we have a record of what the changes are,
Sure.
I'd be happy to do that. Yeah.
Whatever time you think you need to take, Mr. Strange.
Thank you. You have a clicker or, okay, just fly, you can, okay, go next. Go to the next one. See, it's not changing. Oh. Sorry.
It's changing here, but not on the screen.
Okay. That's the old one.
That's what I have.
Well, it might, let me see.
I can't put it up on the screen.
Technical
Why, that was too big?
difficulties.
Okay. You can't get that one. You can't get the new one.
Okay. Bear with me, excuse me, Mr. Whitehead.
We have this, Mr. Strange.
Okay, that's. All right, thank you.
It's a plat dated January of 2022, sheet 1.
Okay. Let me make sure I'm looking at the exact same.
You don't have your work.
Everybody's got that, Mr. Strange.
Okay, very good then. So we are applying for a preliminary subdivision approval for Glendale subdivision to construct 36 single-family homes. The current site that we have chosen to relocate our development to is essentially at the intersection of 3175 and Washington. The site is currently zoned R1, and we're not seeking any change of zoning or any variances. Under the subdivision ordinance, the required lot dimensions are a minimum of 7,200 square feet, and our lots are that big and bigger through the configuration. We sent over our preliminary drainage calculations in compliance with the city ordinance to the city engineer to review. We received favorable comments on that. Everything was said to be correct. We then went down the list of the required pieces of information to be on a preliminary subdivision plat approval, including the street widths, street designations, the location of the utilities, things of that nature, to include street lighting. It's got the basic topography of that site overlaid on it. In simplistic terms, it drains pretty substantially from one side to the backside. As you move down Washington, it kind of goes downhill there. So there's just a detention system that's on the backside that would collect that water. We spoke to the other department heads regarding utility tie-ins for water, sewer. There was plenty of capacity. We were going to be able to get the necessary infrastructure tie-ins for that. We also sent it to the fire chief to comment on. And then lastly, because those are both state highways, we sent this over to DOTD to get their initial input. And that's really probably what and I've also had discussions with Ms. Rock and Mr. Whitehead about preferences between ingress and egress. And the way that we have shown the preliminary or initial drawing here is the possibility, because of the ownership of the land that we're purchasing, that you can either come off Washington or 3175. There's a means to getting in and out from either side. So when we spoke to DOTD, their preference was Washington Street. That was based upon traffic counts, relative incidents of any accidents or anything of that nature. But I know that in speaking with the city, there was a preference to 3175. For our purposes, we're obviously amenable to either, whatever best satisfies the needs of the community and the requirements of local ordinance and stuff. And the Department of Transportation today reiterated that while that was their preference to use Washington Street, that they would work with the city on whatever the city's ultimate preference was, but wanted us to go ahead and present on their behalf the fact that in making the decision, they had looked at any history of accidents, the number of which that occur on a given year, traffic counts and things of that nature, which is what led them to conclude that they thought that Washington might be the more preferable point of ingress and egress. But again, they're amenable to 3175 if that would be the desire of the city.
What about having them in both places, Mr. Strange?
Yeah.
The DOTD said they did not want ingress and egress off of two highways.
Okay. All right.
Okay, that's good.
Are you still going to have, on the final plat, you're going to have about 11 acres to, I guess, what would that be, to the south? You have any plans with that?
I do not, no, sir.
All right. Any questions for Mr. Strange from commission members?
So in other words, they're only gonna allow you one.
Yes, sir, that's what they said.
I don't think they drive around that road I don't think they drive down Washington Street, do they? State ain't gonna, I thought with both would be great. I think people will use the other one, because you ain't getting out down there. With the other, I think that would be personally, I mean, that's what so there's only gonna be one. They'll only allow you to have one.
That's what they said, yes, sir.
Okay,
With the
that's the
18
only question.
The 18-wheelers coming in and out of that station, it would be a problem. I can see that.
Any other questions for Mr. Strange? So we have to basically, I guess, when we go into full discussion, decide whether we're going to allow the access on one or the other, and I assume you'd cul-de-sac or something the other?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Anybody else to speak on behalf of the application of Strange? All right. Is anybody in opposition to the application of Strange? All right, hearing none, discussion by commission members.
Motion to approve.
Well, we got to figure, are we going 6 or are we going 3175?
Well, so they're saying that they're recommending to do Washington Street.
Right, there were,
Highway 6.
And
Okay.
if I may, one of the reasons that, and I forgot, I apologize, I forgot to state this, that they stated was looking into the future. There's a lot less potential for further development along Washington. There's not a lot of available acreage there. And so looking way out into the future, it's possible there could be a lot more development along 3175 in the future,
Maybe more.
which could possibly cause.
I know we've got
congestion.
Hidden Hills right across the street that probably has 20 acres of undeveloped land, and I mean, it's a trailer park now. I mean, there's nothing that would stop somebody from coming in there and laying a bunch of streets, and, I mean, it's one of our mobile home parks, so nothing would stop. I don't know, there's 48 units there on about 15 acres. There's about 22 acres left. You know, another 50 units
I think-
over there, just
I think
almost
it'd be ideal to
directly,
have both,
almost
since they're
directly across from where this 3175 is.
I think what ideal would be have both entrances, but since they want and they recommend the Washington Street, I'd be fine with the Washington Street.
Yeah, but there's gonna be a lot of traffic there on Washington Street. Yeah.
What's the commission's pleasure?
I'll agree with the Washington Street,
Just
that's
one
what they're
second.
recommending.
That's what they recommend.
Go with Washington Street, and motion to approve.
All right, well, let's do it this way. Let's have a motion to amend the application for an entrance only on Washington Street and not the one on 3175. So do I have a motion to amend the application?
I'll make the motion.
All right, the motion has been made. Do I have a second to amend the motion?
I'll second.
So it's the amended motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. So the amended motion now before us is to approve this plat, but it will not go out onto 3175 and will simply, as amended, go out onto Highway 6 or Washington Street, whatever you want to call it. But just one second, Mr. Lumley, you had something you wanted to say? Would you come up by Mr. Strange?
I'm sorry, I'm not familiar enough with all of the intricacies here, but I thought at one time, the fire department required us to have 2 entrances into developments in order to maintain easy access for emergency vehicles.
You
Is there
know,
not a reason we cannot?
They did, and then they changed their mind.
All right, so I'm out of the loop for that.
I understand. because
I think it's worthwhile to have those 2, just from a standpoint
Oh,
of,
there's
I've
no-
been in situations where you could not get out of. We've got a development over here that you cannot get out of with the train across it. There are situations that will require a different entrance and exit into a development, especially of this size.
Well, we've had Mr. Boyd here telling us that when he was fire marshal or fire chief, but our current fire chief.
So
Says it's-
I would suggest asking the state to give a variance.
Well, I think they've already indicated that they won't do it, but we certainly can make a run at it. Yes, Ms. Rock?
No, I just wanted to clarify that the fire department was actually thinking in the city ordinance that it stated that they were required to have 2 entrance and an exit, but that's not the
No,
case.
that was done by practice by Chief Boyd when
Correct.
he was there, and Chief Abear.
Correct.
I mean, it makes sense, but it's not in the ordinance. If we want to put it in the ordinance, we need to put it in the ordinance. All right, so,
The
we have
advantage
the,
to this is there is a loop, I mean, there is not
Yeah.
one lane like it was. I mean, they
That's
can go
true.
in and
That's
circle
true.
as it did, and they can back in, so you do have a little more
Maneuver.
flexibility. Yeah.
so what we have before us is an amended motion. Do I have is there discussion on the amended motion showing the entrance on Washington?
I move we approve the amended motion.
Motion by DuBois,
Second.
second by Blake. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Stands approved. Mr. Strange, get us a conforming plat. Try to get it to us sooner rather than later, so at least Chantrell and I and Nick can go over it just to make sure we've got everything, and then we'll get it signed so you can start moving forward with your financing.
Sure. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Roman numeral 6, report of office activities. Ms. Rock?
Well, the only new activity that we do have a new member for planning and zoning, and that's Ms. Donna Williams. So
right.
we invited her to be with us tonight, and
Glad
we're
to
looking
have you.
forward to working with her.
Glad to have you. And like I said, I apologize. I was feeling kind of punky, but I laid down a lot better. And I did test for COVID and was negative, so I don't know if that helps or anybody's. All right, Mr. Isaac Lewis.
I'll make a motion to.
Motion by Lewis, second by Blake. All in favor, say aye.
Oh, wait, go ahead and say it.
I just had one thing that I wanted to bring before you, that Nick Verrett asked if it was a requirement in our subdivision ordinance to have sidewalks in residential developments. When we looked in the ordinance, it does not require that sidewalks are placed in subdivisions that are connecting to major streets. By our plan that we're working on, he's suggesting that we amend our ordinance to state that sidewalks should be required in any subdivision, especially for major streets. So that's something that I want us to think about, so in the next week or so.
And one of the things we need to think about too is when we're gonna require them to be put in. Because putting them in when the streets are put in is very problematic. We had that problem in St. Clair. If you put those sidewalks in, when they put the streets in, the lumber trucks, the concrete trucks, they tear it all up going across that stuff. How do y'all normally do that stuff, David? You do it at the end, after you've had most of the development done? Is that what you've seen, Mr. Smoke, as well?
I've seen a lot of them require to put them in first, and then when the builder tears them up, they have to fix them before they do the lot. Otherwise, and I hear what you're saying, but otherwise you could end up with a lot that doesn't have a sidewalk across the front for a long time.
Yep, that's true. We'll just have to think about how they,
I realize that you cause costs to the builder later on, but, you know, unfortunately, that's.
well, the last one without a chair is the one that gets the short stick.
Yeah, so anyway.
There's always a way to go around it until you've got the last lot. Then you're gonna have to cross the sidewalk somewhere. All right, we stand adjourned. Next meeting